Hello, children. After learning about how important vision cards are, I am sure you are very proud of yourselves. You have a bunch of maxed out equipment, and a nice Esper, as well. So you are feeling pretty confident now. And of course, you have some very cute, maxed out vision cards. Look at that. Very impressive. Your soldier boy is certainly looking good. It is finally time for all the girls to realize how cool you are. Maybe you could even get your imaginary girlfriend back. Maybe your father will finally be proud of you. Oh, what was that? It is a message from the guy your mommy told you not to worry about. Look, he also has Cloud. But how funny, his build looks very similar to yours. What a copycat. I am sure you have nothing to worry about. What in the world is going on? Why does his Cloud have a higher attack? His other stats are better, too. But you have the same equipment and vision cards and everything. What's going on? Hold on a second. Why does his TMR have so many cool stats? Yours looks like a second-hand knockoff compared to his. What are all these open slots in your Trust Mastery equipment? You must figure out the secrets to this man's power. Otherwise, he might become your new daddy. The ancient scriptures mention certain mythical stones, which could change the world, and also make you irresistible to women. The monks spent their entire lives trying to learn the secrets of these stones. But do not worry, children. Papa is here to tell you the ancient secrets of the Truststones. Truststones allow you to customize your Trust Mastery rewards, or TMRs for short, with all sorts of cool stats and passive abilities. There are two categories of stones: attack and defense. Each category has 3 different kinds of stones within them. For all intents and purposes, you would want to focus on the pink Truststones, as they are of the highest rarity, so they have the best stats and passives. We'll get to how you actually acquire these pink Truststones in a little bit. First, let's take a look at this TMR. You can see all these locked slots, right? As you unlock them, you will then be allowed to place Truststones in these slots. But you can't just put pink Truststones in them yet. You have to level up the slots first. Although you can use a variety of resources, the ones being used here are the ones I use, as they are easily acquired and efficient. So you've got the slots leveled up. Now let's get our sweaty hands on some stones. In order to get a Truststone, you have to forge one. You need 20 Truststone shards of a specific type to forge that particular stone. So if you want to forge a Truststone of Justice, whose symbol looks like an L, for some weird reason, you need 20 Justice shards. There are plenty of ways to get these shards. The event medal shops allow you to exchange for enough tickets to get 20 shards of your choice. They do cost quite a few medals, though. The most obvious way, however, would be to farm Truststone chambers. They give a bunch of other resources as well, which is nice. But you might be thinking, wait, Papa, these chambers only give purple shards, at best. There are no pink shards here. What's going on? Well, I am getting to that, children. From the main menu, go to the item exchange shop. There, you'll be able to exchange your purple or other lower rarity shards for pink ones. I would suggest only converting purple shards into pink ones. You'll see why in a little bit. You can get up to 50 shards of each type this way, enough to craft at least 2 pink Truststones every month. One other way is through exchanging these score medals. You get them by finishing high difficulty quests. So you can acquire quite a few of these medals just from playing the game. Okay, so we now have some Truststone shards. Now what? Let's try forging an offensive Truststone. Specifically, the Triumph one. The first thing you will notice is that there are a variety of options. Each of these types focuses on a certain stat. Deciding on which type to craft is an important decision, and depends on what kind of character you want to use it for. So if you were crafting an offensive stone for a character like Laswell, you might want to craft a stone that focuses on physical attack, like the Assault one. If you were crafting it for a mage, on the other hand, you could go for this one, which boosts magic. Let's try creating an Assault stone. When you create a stone, you get a random passive ability. There are a large number of possibilities for what passive you get, as well as whether or not you get the best version of it. Confused? Let's take an example. When we crafted our stone, the passive we got was a 5% attack boost, right? This list shows you what passives are acquirable, as well as the values we can get them at. You can get 3 possible versions of the attack increase passive. Attack 3 is the worst, and attack 7 is the best. So we didn't get the best version of this ability. How sad. But don't worry, we can try again. We can dismantle the Truststone, and craft it again, to get a new passive. This time, we got an acquired AP increase ability. Checking the list again, we can see this is the best version of it. Let's keep this one, for the moment. Well, we have a Truststone, and a passive ability which we like. Are we done? Ha ha ha. No. Now, we have to level up the stone. This is also pretty simple, but it does take a bunch of these resources. You can see the stats which your Truststone will provide. The one at the top depends on the type you forged, which in this case was an Assault one. This stat is fixed. The other ones, however, can be rolled for. There are maximum values for each of these stats. Attack has a max of 35, so let's try to get that, for now. There we go. Every pink Truststone can hold 2 passive abilities. What you're supposed to do, is forge a second stone, and get a passive ability which you like. Then, you can transfer the ability from the second stone, onto the first one. You do this by using the merge option. Simply pick the stone you want to transfer an ability from. You'll have to use some resources, which are pretty hard to get. So do this wisely, children. You will now have one really nice Truststone. What do you do with the second one, that no longer has any abilities? Dismantle it, so you can forge another stone later. So we have a stone with 2 nice passive abilities. You will notice, that the abilities you got, are at level 1. Does it mean we have to level up these abilities, as well? Yes, it does. This nonsense must continue. And here's how you do it. Remember all those lower rarity Truststone shards you've collected from the Truststone chamber? What you're supposed to do, is craft lower rarity stones. Why? Because you will shove them into your pink Truststones, to level up your passive abilities. This makes about the same amount of sense, as shoving experience cubes into your units, to make them stronger. You don't need to worry about the type of the lower rarity stones, or their passive abilities. And here we are. We finally have a really nice Truststone. Wasn't it fun, children? Now all we need to do, is do this 5 more times, to get enough stones for 1 TMR. But a regular PvP team has 3 units, each of whom can equip a TMR. So all in all, you will need 18 Truststones to outfit 1 team. That does seem somewhat insane. At least at first. But you need to take Truststones slowly, by focusing on 1 unit at a time. Everyone has probably pulled for Sephiroth, right? Let's use him as an example, and make a set of Truststones for him. Before deciding on what abilities we will want for him, we should decide on what kind of other equipment he will use. Why does it matter? Because Truststone passives do not stack with passives from other equipment. It is important to remember this. You can't stack the same passives on your Truststones, either. You will most likely utilize Sephiroth's sword, as his choice of weapon. It provides quite a few passive abilities for the one-winged angel. Although the second slot depends on what you prefer, let's go with the Umbral Armlet, which will help our silver-haired waifu against other Sephiroths. Now, let's take a look at which offensive passive abilities we can actually acquire. This might look like a lot, but don't worry. We can ignore most of this, mostly because they don't work for our waifu. From what's left, here's what I would do. The slash resistance penetration, 20% attack increase, defense penetration and dark attack up, are pretty mandatory, I would say. You have a couple of choices for the last two, but I would prefer reaction block, and acquired AP increase. When it comes to defensive stones, there are a large number of passives. This also means you can keep forging defensive stones over and over again, to try and get the one you want. It sounds like a lot of fun. But quite a few of these passives aren't particularly useful in most situations. Here are the ones I've decided to go with. The fire resistance is there because I expect to see a lot of fire teams, once Yuffie shows up. The other resistances are because I expect to see a lot of those elements in the future, as well. Not too long from now, Sephiroth will get a unique piece of gear, which will be great for him. You'll probably have to change some passives, but the general idea should still be there. What are set bonuses, you might be wondering? Well, if you have 3 trust stones of the same type, like 3 assault stones or 3 HP stones, then you get some bonus passive abilities, on top of everything else. These do stack with everything else you already have. For the defensive stones, I went with an HP set. The set bonus for HP stones gives some all-elemental resistance. As you are probably aware, Sephiroth has a bunch of this already, so stacking some more on top is probably a sweet idea. As you can see, it is best to consider the different aspects of a unit first, before building trust stones for them. If you have an evasion unit, they won't benefit much from an HP set of stones, as they are so fragile. Instead, a luck set will help increase their evasion, as it is a stat which relies on luck. For offense, an agility set will not only make them faster, but will also give them a tiny bit more evasion, as well. Trust stones can really take you to the next level, and help you in becoming the meta baby, which you always wanted to be. So start working on some trust stones today. Soon, you will finally have the conversation with your father, which you always wanted to have.
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. Lesbian? Homosexual? How can I describe you? Why should someone be gay?
I am male and attracted to a female.
So who is gay?